Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Putty, and welcome back for another edition of Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. We are here for the very first show of the decade, the very first show of 2020, 2020, whatever you want to call it. It is, of course, the annual Ripcord Invitational Challenge, the most prestigious championship tournament in all of independent American wrestling, and I'm just going to go over real quick before we start a couple of changes to my setup that you guys might be interested in. First of all, as you might be able to notice, the background's a little different. I haven't been changing that up. In fact, it's actually the background for the last 48 parts has been an SWF background, if you can believe it. That was repurposed for this series. And from the stream. It's not that I wasn't ever planning an SWF series. I realized that what I just said might imply that. It was just that I was at one point streaming a lot of SWF and I had that background ready for it. A few of you guys don't remember that actually. But I repurposed it, so I decided to change it to the wonderful Charlotte skyline that is being used on the thumbnail this year. And also I decided, because I was doing so much of the "oh shit, did I book that right" stuffs, and showing you guys the Ripcord Invitational bracket all year long, and I felt that was very unprofessional and very unfitting, so I've decided to create a anti-spoiler screen, as you can see right here, that I can just flash up whenever I need to go and do stuff, which is always pretty handy, and I think it looks quite nice. So yeah, that's what we've got set up for ourselves here tonight. Let's show you guys the Ripcord Invitational bracket, shall we? We have the former Mid-Atlantic Regional Champion, former winner of this tournament actually, Island Boy Apollo, going to be taking on the 4C representative Riley Patton, who I'm very interested in talking about Riley, because Riley has been unsigned for about 4 years, and he's been on my shortlist, and I've been thinking, I really want to use you. I think you need to develop a little bit, but you have some really, really cool looking stats. I think you can really go somewhere in this business, but someone needs to sign you. I can't quite fit you into the roster, but you will be fit in one day. But thank the Lord, last year 4C signed Riley. They've pushed him as a main eventer, and now I don't have to do it. But we're going to get to see the constantly underrated Riley Patton in action tonight, taking on our boy, Island Boy Apollo. Also, two former members of the Mid-Atlantic roster that are making, once again, an appearance from FCW, from Freedom Caribbean Wrestling. We've got Hands of Stone, Bradford Peverell. Of course, a former World Heavyweight Champion, the man who is known for winning matches with just one punch. He was here, he was one of the most present World Heavyweight Champions here in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling when he was champ, taking on the former Mid-Atlantic Regional Champion, Giant Brody, who has had a history with Island Boy Apollo. They fought in the finals of the Ripcord Invitational all the way back in 2017, and since then they have traded wins and losses throughout the territories, including trading on 2 occasions the Mid-Atlantic Regional Heavyweight Championship. Good stuff there, as he's going to take on Hands of Stone, Bradford Peverell. From MAW representing Team Progress is, of course, Logan Wolfsbane. George Wolf is out injured with a back injury, and so Logan Wolfsbane is going to be taking his spot here in the Ripcord Invitational Challenge, hopefully going to be continuing his mentor's legacy. George Wolf winning the last 2 Ripcord Invitational Challenges, unable to defend his title here tonight, but Logan Wolfsbane, fellow member of Team Progress, is going to be picking up the mantle, but he's got to get through Froshore, the man who is barely keeping his head above water, the man who needs something, needs a big win in order to provide for his wife and kids. Will the Ripcord Invitational provide that opportunity? Find out tonight. As we move on to New York City Wrestling's interesting entry in Elliot Thomas, solid wrestler who is rising the ranks over in New York. He's going to be taking on our Oli representative, El Mitico Jr., who we've become very, very acquainted with here in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling over the last year. A very strong competitor, a very strong luchador with some solid basics and some wonderful technical wrestling. Let's get in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ripcord Invitational 2020. We are in the Charlotte Garden. Let's go. As Apollo gets to the interview area, and he says, Tonight I get to do what I do best, and I get to overcome challenges. I get to climb mountains, and I get to slay monsters. See, I've been fighting in this company for many, many years, for going from challenge to challenge and proving that I'm good enough. Tonight I get to fight Riley Patton, another man who's had to prove that he's good enough at every step of the way. Another guy who's been told he's not good enough, who's got to prove everybody wrong, and I wish him the best of luck. But tonight he's facing one half of the Mid-Atlantic, the World Tag Team Champions. One half of the Puerto Rican boys. He's facing the most electrifying wrestler in all of the territories today. He's facing a former two-time Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion and a former Ripcord Invitational Challenge winner. And tonight, I break records like I always do. And I get that pleasure of looking on the record books and seeing my name as one of the very few to win this tournament 2 times. And he does indeed defeat Riley Patton with an Island driver. We get some good back and forth brawling from Island Boy Apollo and Riley Patton. Apollo hitting that corkscrew leg whip, working on that leg of Riley Patton, starting to bring in that more targeted offense of his game. A bit of a low drop kick to kind of work down that leg, get Riley Patton off his feet, and then, going with his usual energetic brawling style, hitting the ropes, hitting those lariats, those clotheslines, those low drop kicks, nasty DDT, maybe hitting the standing elbow or something like that, and then finally finishing him off with that Island driver. Good stuff from these two. And we have this match, which of course is the very traditional Giant Brody trying to work down Bradford Peverell, trying to beat him down, and he's dominating the match, and he's slowly getting to that victory until finally, out of nowhere, Bradford hits that dream left hook, and it only takes one to knock Giant Brody out, and Bradford Peverell does indeed pick up the victory, and he will meet Island Boy Apollo in a first time matchup in our semi-finals. For sure is in the interview area, and he says, "Sweet Tabitha, I gotta tell you, tonight is a big opportunity, and I'm one for taking those opportunities. In October, I had a chance to become the Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Champion, and, bro, that was a big chance for me. That would have made me able to provide for my wife, able to put my wife back through college, able to provide for my children, able to give them everything they want. And you know what? I failed. I fought as hard as I possibly could, but I failed. But tonight is another opportunity. Tonight is another night, and I can't dwell on my past failures. I have to go out there, bro. I have to take on Logan Wolfsbane, and I have to fight to my last breath with every inch of my body, because I know that victory and defeat is a massively different world for me and my family. So tonight, Logan Wolfsbane, you better have that fire. You better have that heart, bro. Because you're fighting someone who's fighting for everything he loves." For sure, fired up. Can he take the opportunity? It is Logan Wolfsbane in the interview area, and he says, "Fro, I believe it. I believe you have that fire and that passion, and I don't want to be the bad guy here. But look at me. I am the premier athlete. I'm in the gym 5 days a week, and I look like it. I know what I'm putting into my body, and you can see I am more toned. I look better than half this country's, all of this roster. I'm the best athlete on this roster. I was born in this business. I know this business like the back of my hand, and tonight I get to prove to you, Fro, that every single member of Team Progress is just born better." And they have a 50D+, and this is just a back and forth match. Fro showing that passion, showing that fight, crawling, just clawing, trying his absolute hardest to get that opening, get that weakness of Logan Wolfsbane. But Logan Wolfsbane is a dominant athlete. He's got 20, 30 pounds on Fro, and he's able to get that momentum going. He's able to get those big lariats happening. He's able to expose weaknesses in Fro's game. He's able to expose weaknesses in Fro's high-action, energetic style. And in the end, it is Logan Wolfsbane who manages to put together a sequence of suplexes. Maybe he's got a vertical in there. Maybe he's got a German in there. Dragon suplex. Maybe he hits a top rope dragon suplex, as silly as that is. And maybe he picks up the victory with that belly-to-belly suplex. And he moves on to the semifinals, where he will meet... Oh, no. Before the next match, after the match, Fro, he sits on the edge of the apron, he's distraught, he's sad, and he takes a big breath in, he sighs, he's like, he's visibly just trying to calm himself. He's clearly failed again tonight, and it's really getting to him. And after that, he puts on a big smile, and he claps to the crowd. He claps off the crowd. He thanks them for their support, and he heads to the back. Logan Wolfsbane will meet El Mitico Jr. in the semi-finals, as him and Elliot Thomas have a reasonable match. I'm actually quite disappointed with this. And El Mitico Jr. ends up picking up the victory with a Northern Lights suplex. I don't have an explanation for why this wasn't particularly good. Yeah, I really don't. I guess these guys just not quite ready, either of them, to carry a match. It's a bit of a shame. Oh well. Let's move on to our first semi-finals match. It is Bradford Peverell against Island Boy Apollo. Two lads from Puerto Rico, kind of. Two lads from Freedom Caribbean Wrestling, definitely. Two lads who have definitely come up in the business together, while one ended up as a tag team wrestler and ended up leaving Freedom Caribbean Wrestling to come here to Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, and then became a standout singles wrestler after he was part of a great tag team. He came here, he won the Ripcord Invitational 3 months into his MAW career. He answered an open challenge and became the champion. And ever since then, his career is on an upward trajectory. He is one of the most decorated superstars in Mid-Atlantic wrestling history. Sam Keith Classic, World Tag Team Champion, Ripcord Invitational Champion, MAW Singles Heavyweight Champion. A wonderful career. And tonight he gets an opportunity to make it to the finals of the Ripcord Invitational once again. But he's got to go through a former heavyweight champion of the world. The man who is able to win a match with just one punch. Some call him One Punch Man, others Hands of Stone. Who will be the victory tonight in a battle of many punches versus a single punch. In a 58C, Bradford Peverell is not able to get off that hook. It's all about that dream left hook. He's trying to hit it all match long, but it's getting dodged. It's getting maneuvered. Island Boy Apollo manages to put on a very good show, hitting his variety of punches and suplexes and eventually finishing him off with an island driver, avoiding that dream left hook on every occasion. Island Boy Apollo makes it to another Ripcord Invitational final, but who will join him? Will it be Team Progress member Logan Wolfsbane or excellent technical high-flying luchador El Mitico Jr. In a 69C, Logan Wolfsbane defeats El Mitico Jr. with a Boston Crab. We have El Mitico Jr. trying to do a number on Logan Wolfsbane, trying to go all flashy with it, trying to go hold for hold, trying to do that typical Dewey Archer, Ernest Youngman style of escape, wink at the crowd, get the energy of the crowd against Logan Wolfsbane, who the crowd definitely do not like. They think, admit he's a good athlete, but he's a bit of an asshole. And they support El Mitico Jr., the high-flying, fast-paced luchador, who manages to go hold for hold, but eventually Logan Wolfsbane shows that he's got those technical basics, and he escapes from every hold that El Mitico Jr. can throw at him. He escapes easily and eventually manages to lock in that Boston Crab, and El Mitico Jr. middle of the ring has no choice but to tap out. And we have our finals. It is going to be Logan Wolfsbane versus Island Boy Apollo. But before that, the MAW Regional Tag Team Championships are going to be on the line because Stuntman is back from injury. I mean, is he 100%? We won't know until the match. But he is teaming with his partner Acid in the team of Devil May Care to get their rematch for the Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Championships against the Ring Generals. And indeed, in a 68C+, it doesn't seem like Stuntman is 100%. He spends a lot of time on the apron in this match, very hesitant, very unwilling to tap in, and the Ring Generals trying to isolate Stuntman whenever he's in the ring. Stuntman luckily doesn't get caught a lot of the time. He's able to tag out, but Acid realizes he's got to do a lot of the work in this match. Acid's got to really carry the burden of an injured tag team partner, and he goes in there and he tries to fight with every inch and every fiber of his body. But in the end, the Ring Generals are just too well oiled of a tag team, and 2 versus 1 is only really going to end one way when those two are the greatest, most decorated tag team in the history of the territories. And the Ring Generals managed to pick up the victory with a wheelbarrow bomb. Ring Generals make defense number 2 of their Mid-Atlantic Tag Team titles, and you got to say now that their victory in that 4-team tag match at Where It All Begins Again was very much not a fluke. They've defeated Notorious, they've defeated Devil May Care, they have proven themselves as one of the greatest tag teams this business has to offer, and they do retain their tag team titles, and they are top of the mountain as things stand. We are going to move on to our main event of the evening as Island Boy Apollo heads to the interview area and he says, Logan Wolfsbane, you are an athlete, you are a monster, but my job, my occupation is slaying monsters. So you know what, you can huff and you can puff and you can say that you look like a star, and you do. and you can say you were born in this business, and you were. And you can say that you're one of the greatest athletes, one of the greatest wrestlers on this roster, and you are. But you're not facing a guy who's underestimating you anymore, Logan. You're not facing a guy who's put you low on his pedestal, because I know who you are, Logan Wolfsbane. I respect you, and I completely prepare for you. You know, I think you've got a very good chance tonight, son. But I gotta say, I like being the underdog. I like not being favored, and maybe I'm a big dude, but maybe I am a little smaller than you. Maybe I am a little slower than you, but you know what? That just means I have to work 2 times as hard. And if there's one thing I can do is work hard. So tonight, I'm going to electrify. I'm going to stun. And for the second time in my career, I'm going to be the Ripcord Invitational Champion. And ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our main event of the evening. It is Island Boy Apollo taking on Logan Wolfsbane for the Ripcord Invitational Challenge Champion, who will be the most prestigious tournament champion in all of American independent wrestling today. In our main event of the evening, in a 60C, and about how good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, Logan Wolfsbane defeated Island Boy Apollo in 19 minutes and 53 seconds by submission with a Boston Crab. Mostly a brawl, mostly a back and forth, brutal, elbow for elbow, punch for punch brawl as these two try and get the advantage on each other. But in the end, Logan Wolfsbane proves to be too technically sound, as well as Island Boy can brawl, as much heart as Island Boy has. Logan Wolfsbane has that technical prowess that allows him to just work down Island Boy, allows him to get in to that submission maneuver, allows him to just work him down and work those submission holds, work down that leg, that lower back, and of course, Island Boy Apollo, he's got too much heart, he's got too much passion to tap out, even in the middle of the ring, even in the middle of nowhere, to a Boston Crab, and indeed, Island Boy Apollo passes out in the Boston Crab, and Logan Wolfsbane is the 2020 Ripcord Invitational Challenge Champion, which is a big story because he wasn't even meant to be in the tournament. He replaced George Wolf, his mentor, who is out with a back injury, and Logan Wolfsbane inflicts back injuries to Island Boy Apollo, El Mitico Jr., and Fro Shore to win the tournament with a wonderful, wonderful 3-0 record for Team Progress, lifting the trophy, and Logan Wolfsbane starts 2020 with an absolutely huge victory for someone so young. I think he might be the youngest winner of this tournament at 24 years of age. Someone so young, an absolutely massive victory for Logan Wolfsbane. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up, check out the rest of the series, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're feeling especially generous and particularly like the episode, go ahead and check out a link to my Patreon. The link is in the description. And if you want to hear me ramble or generally talk about the series, link to my Twitter is in the description. Let me know what you think about the tournament. I definitely think it wasn't as strong as a few of the recent years where we had some bigger names and some bigger stories coming into it, but I hope you guys are excited for the big victory of Logan Wolfsbane. I'm wondering where Fro Shore might indeed go from here. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.